Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're working on the pitter again, and I got a bunch of parts right here. We're gonna be installing, gonna be doing a mod that I've wanted to do since I got the bike, but it's kind of a pain to get all the pieces together right now. They're all pretty much sold out. I think they're getting restocked now, but we're gonna be doing a full tall bar installation on my KLX110L. And this is going to include all three cables for this bike. It has the throttle, the brake, and the clutch cable. So a little bit more work, and I'm going to be installing a new throttle assembly as well. So if you guys are like me, I'm sure you're tired of smacking your knees up under here under the handlebars. I mean, I'm not a really big guy, but tall enough that my knees do get in the way quite a bit. Also, by the way, I am standing and walking around now without my crutches. So that's got your boy pretty hyped and excited to maybe ride that thing in like another week or two. Just cruise around, you know what I'm saying? Don't tell my wife. But this is gonna be a quick video for the most part. I'm just gonna talk about what we got here. I got these tall bars from T-Bolt. They also sent me this billet throttle assembly along with this throttle cable that is actually for an XR80 or 100, but it works with this assembly. Comes as a kit, and yeah, it's going to be long enough to stretch on these new bars. These other cables, the brake cable and clutch cable, I got from eBay, and got some tusk grips from Rocky Mountain, and I just have some basic tools we're gonna need. I like to lube all of my cables up when they're new and clean like this. It's just the best time you should do it, and it doesn't make sense to put the cables on without lubing them anyways. The last thing I'm going to say is they did not sponsor me. I paid for all of this stuff, and actually T-Bolt's kind of been a pain in the butt because they won't ship these parts directly to my P.O. box in Texas, so I have to ship them to Virginia and then ship them to Texas. So if you guys watch this video, help me out please. Well, I wasn't paying attention to this wire right here when I ordered all the cables, and it doesn't look like it's gonna stretch far enough. And I believe this is something to do with the electric start. When the clutch lever is in like that. I really don't know what this does, but I'm gonna need to do some research and figure out how the KLX110L guys get this wire to reach, or if they just get rid of it.
God damn it!
So here's the old cable, and what I need to do is remove this part and attach it to the new cable. And it looks like just right here there's a little circlip, and so I'm going to use a pick to pop that clip off, and that should release this cable from this assembly. Well, I was just about done and in the home stretch with this thing. Just was gonna throw all the cables back in the bike and put it back together, and then we got hit with this storm. It is raining like a mother. And to make things even more interesting, I was trying to move this table that's been falling apart, and all four legs just exploded. All my shit just went flying everywhere. I guess it's just one of those days. We've just been getting smashed with this hurricane recently, so it's gonna be raining like this every day. I'm gonna try to just work through it. Okay, quickly, I'm gonna talk about these cables, starting with this top cable. That's the clutch cable. It's supposed to be a +5 inch cable, and as you can see, it clearly is. Next up, we have the front brake cable, and this is the one that's given me some concern, because as you can see, it's just barely longer than the other one. I mean, just about 2 inches. But It said that this front brake cable was for a KLX110 plus 5 inches, and I have a 110L. So this bike comes with a longer front brake cable originally compared to the regular 110, and that's why I believe this one is just about 2 inches longer, and it's still gonna reach, it's gonna work fine. And then the last cable we have here is the XR80-100 cable, and it is way longer. I mean, we're talking, I don't know, 10 inches or more, so quite a big difference. And before I put all these cables on the bike, I'm gonna go ahead and lube them up using this Cable Life lube right here and my little Tusk cable luber. That way when we slap these cables on the bike, they'll be lubed up and ready to go for a long time. Alright, cables are lubed up, ready to go. I just want to clean these carb parts up with some carb cleaner that I got down here. And I'm also going to shoot a little bit down into the carburetor and wipe that out. Already wiped out some dirt. There was a bunch of dirt that had gotten into the carb when I removed the top. This new XR cable is not the same end as the old KLX. I just tried to secure it in here using the old clip, but that's not gonna work. I'm just gonna hook this cable up to the slide and spring over there, and that should keep the cable secure in the carburetor. This part just might be coming in and out of this a little bit, but if I get the cable tension tight enough, it shouldn't be a problem and the cable should just be pulling. I don't know if that makes a lot of sense, but I'm gonna make this work. Well, this throttle cable is not looking good. It's way too freaking long. I don't know what I'm gonna do besides maybe just flip this throttle upside down so I can get rid of most of the slack. But yeah, we're giving this thing about a 2 out of 10 right now, so hopefully it freaking works, otherwise it'll be a 0. But this is getting ridiculous. I gotta finish this project up. I'm going on vacation tomorrow. Let's get these other cables on and just slap this bike back together. Hopefully the throttle will work good enough for now and I can order a new cable. ton of slack here, even with it adjusted all the way. But what I had to do was take this front wheel off, and I had to reposition this lever arm. It was too high up, so I moved it down about 2 notches, and that was able to soak up a lot of that extra slack. And also this improved the feel of the brake tremendously. Now I got a pretty nice little brake setup. It's the home stretch now. This thing has been a nightmare. I'm gonna throw all these plastics back on, not even gonna film it, and we'll finish up with these grips and the bar pad later. These bars are actually looking pretty sweet, and I'm gonna be testing out this spray adhesive. This is just a cheap, generic spray adhesive that you can get at, an auto parts store, which is where I got it. And I've used it on parts of the frame, actually on the YZ over there, to hold rubber pieces to the frame, and it works great. So I'm thinking it's gonna do an awesome job on these grips as well. And actually the grip that I put on this throttle side, I'm not even gonna glue it. I'm just gonna maybe use some air to help me slide the grip on, because I'm not sure I'm gonna keep this throttle set up, and it'd just be nice if I could slide the grip back off if I wanted to keep it. By the way, anyone's interested, this bike is for sale. Hit me up. Back to this piece of shit. Just ignore that it's sitting on this battery. When I looped this bike, I freaking bent the foot peg bracket so hard, and it ended up bending the kickstand as well. But we got everything hooked up. Check it out. Even the glue that I used is sticking really good right now. Clutch is perfect. Front brake feels even better than it did before. Actually, adjusting that brake arm really made a big difference in the performance of my front brake. But yeah, the brake cable and the clutch cable went on super nice, did not have any problems. Here's the clutch cable, you can see it all hooked up. Very straightforward, and I gotta say that these bars feel absolutely amazing, especially with these new grips. But we gotta talk about this throttle. So the biggest problem being this cable is just so ridiculously long that what I had to do was just twist the cable around the bars. I'm not sure if this is upside down or not. I don't like this thing sticking out. So I will be trying to get a new KLX extended throttle cable. This one was for a XR80, XR100, and it just came with this throttle assembly. That's why I got it. But this thing is really crisp, and it's a quarter turn throttle, so it's nice and short. I definitely like this throttle 10 times better than the old one, but this cable that it came with was just garbage. I mean, it just didn't work for what I was trying to do. Take my advice, skip this throttle assembly, this junk made in Taiwan anyways, and the cable. Just get the regular KLX extended cable for this bike, like I did with the clutch and brake, and it's gonna be a lot better, I think. It looks pretty clean. It actually doesn't look that rigged up anymore, but I wanted to pull the front number plate off so you guys could see what I did with this electric start switch. Right now, it is no longer connected to the coupler in there, and what I'm going to do is cut these wires and just add a little bit more wire to it so I can connect it again. What this means is you cannot start the bike in gear with the clutch in. It has to be in neutral. Check out that shift lever, nice, right? But if you got the bike in neutral, no problem. You really don't need this switch to be hooked up at all. Like I said, you'll just have to make sure that your bike is in neutral every time you want to start it, which for me is really not a problem because I don't even like to start my bikes in gear.